For today's lesson, we're going to need markers, crayons, a pencil, something with a straight edge. It could be a ruler. I have index cards. It could be a notebook. It could be the side of a folder, just something with a straight edge, okay? Today I'm going to use a ruler. If you don't have a ruler at home, you can find something else. You can cut a piece of cardboard off of a cereal box, anything that gives you a straight edge, okay? I have an optional letter template. If you're not comfortable making bubble letters, we will do a little bit of practice though. So I'd like you to try to make your own. If you can't and you want to use the template, I'm perfectly fine with that, okay? Then we have a piece of drawing paper and not sure if I mentioned, but a pencil. Okay, we're going to start by making a perspective drawing. Perspective is when you have a two-dimensional surface, which is flat, okay? Our paper is two-dimensional, and we do a drawing that appears to be three-dimensional, so it looks like it's kind of coming out at you from the paper, all right? To start, we're going to be using the letters to make our name, okay? My favorite way to do bubble letters is to write a letter, and you can do this in pencil. I'm just doing it in marker to show you an example. So you can write the letter that you want normally, okay? Then you can take your pencil and you can bubble around it, and then you can erase the inside, and that would give you a really nice bubble letter. Now, after you do that for a while, eventually you can do it without needing that middle line, okay? You could do fancier letters if you want, to where maybe you add a little bit of something called a serif. It's when letters have lines and things on the ends of them, but something like this works really well for this project. Okay, again, you're gonna do that in pencil. So you can flip your letter paper over, use some scratch paper, whatever you have to do some practice, okay? Now, we're going to be putting our name kind of in the middle of this piece here, okay? You can choose your first or last name, but we need something with more than 4 letters, okay? So it's really fun to do kind of the longest name, whether your first name's a little bit longer or your last name, but it's totally up to you, okay? I'm just going to write Kegabyne, okay? So across kind of, actually let's do up here in the upper half of the paper. So I'm gonna start with a pencil, and I'm gonna start to write my name. And you can do all capital letters if you want. You could do capital and lowercase. You can curve it. It's totally up to you. If you want to curve it and you want to give yourself kind of an arc to have a template, you could do that. So I can do that example on the back. If you want to really lightly, very lightly, so you can erase, draw kind of a rainbow shape, then you can come back in and add your letters on top of that to follow that curve. So this would be an example of that. Okay, so right down here, kind of towards the bottom, I'm going to put a dot in the middle, okay? I'm going to connect all of these letters to that dot. This is what's going to give it the 3D appearance. So I'm going to start here, and you could even go through and circle the corners that are closest to the vanishing point. Line your ruler up and draw a line. Okay, up here, this would also come to the vanishing point. So I like to go through a letter and do all of the ones that are closest first, and then you could move to the angles that are a little further away. If you're not sure if it should or not, you can line it up to the vanishing point and see if it would draw through your letter. If it goes through the back of the letter, we don't need to connect it because it wouldn't be seen. Okay, so I can do my letter E, and then I want to erase those little circles. Okay, we'll Sharpie over this so we can erase all of the extra pencil lines at the end. Okay, see if that corner goes. Nope, it would be drawn behind. Okay, if you have a rounded letter like a G, O's, the outside of the B, you're going to choose the outermost side of that letter to connect. Okay, this one actually kind of runs into the side of my E, so I'm just going to stop it right there instead of continuing that line down. If your letters overlap, choose which one you want to be in front, and that will help with the three-dimensional part of this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move that. I want to move that line down here to those two corners there, and I'm going to stop because it would go behind this one. Line up, draw down and stop, and this here would also come back to the vanishing point, just like that. That's my other E. Sometimes letters with actual angles on the ends of them make it a little easier to connect. And then I've got top part of my E and that outer little angle right there slightly in. Let me see if that yep. And this one. Yep. Okay. On to the B. And then again, I'm going to choose this outermost side. Okay, come up here, outermost side, and stop because that goes behind. Okay. You could check to see if any of the insides need it. In this case, I don't. Okay, so it looks like it's it for that. Make sure when you're doing this that all of those lines are actually meeting at this vanishing point. That's what's going to make it look more three-dimensional.
You got Play-Doh stuff? What's new, Lou?
Over to the end. Okay, and that's it for the drawing. So we can come through and erase all of these extra lines. So the curve that we drew our letters on, we can erase. Okay. Your next step would be to come in and trace this with Sharpie. You can use a fine point Sharpie or just a regular Sharpie, whatever you have. And we'll just trace right on top of those pencil lines. Once that's done, erase all of your pencil lines. Try to stay on the line as much as you can. Even these lines that are going back to your vanishing point, please use your straight edge so that they stay straight and consistent. The straighter they are, the more realistic the 3D effect will be. We don't want wobbly lines. Use markers and crayons to color your name. I used marker across the top, and then down on the bottom I used crayons. I started with red, I went to red, orange, orange, yellow, yellow, green, all the way through the color spectrum to get a full range. After you finish your Roy-G-Biv order, color in the background black. When you're totally done, take a picture and send it in. I'd love to see it.